Hi everybody, I am Husky Light. Thank you for stopping by. I just wanted to make a quick video about the shift that we're going through, about the energies, about what's going on, about the Aquarian, going into the Age of Aquarius. And I think I've made a couple of videos in the past before, but it just seems prevalent for me to just make another, so we've all got an understanding of the direction that we're heading in and where we're going with this Aquarian shift and the things that are happening at the moment. Unfortunately, there's so much crap coming up. I've had a hard time the past few days with very heavy energies. I've had headaches, I've had difficulty sleeping, being very empathic to the things that are happening in the world, and at the same time trying to stay away from it because I know it has such an effect on my body. On my mental and my physical body, on my emotional body, so I try and stay as far away as I can from it. But I also understand that a lot of these changes, a lot of these things that are coming into being that we're seeing, are all happening for a reason. And as well as these things happening, there's a lot of good, positive, amazing things that are happening. It's just that those of us that are awake know this. Those of us that are going through the shifting and trying to keep up with the energies and the things that are changing, we know this. For those of you that, you know, it's just to give a tiny little bit of clarity on what's going on, and I hope it helps. Sometimes we just need to be reminded of things. So we know that there's so many changes that are happening that associate with this shift into the Aquarian Age, which we are going to be in for the next 2,000 years. So this is a huge thing. So what is the Aquarian Age? What is this shift that we're going into? Astronomers will tell you that the Earth rotates on an axis, and there is a meridian line going through the centre of the Earth, and it has a slight wobble to it. It wobbles about a little bit. It goes through a circular wobble about every 24,000, every 26,000 years. I remember I did do a video on the hero's journey, and that is part of the Aquarian shift if you want to watch that, because part of this journey that we're going through is a little bit like the hero's journey, as we change from one age into another. So about every 24, 26,000 years, we go through a wobble. And actually it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. The world's not going to blow up. We're not going to see nuclear war. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just moving into a new age. And the cycle itself is broken down into 12 parts, which are associated with the 12 astrological signs, which is based on which constellation, or in which constellation the axis is wobbling, the axis of the Earth, and where it's wobbling towards. So from around the age of 2000 BC to AD, to 0 AD, we were in the age of Taurus. From 0 AD to the present, we've been in the age of Pisces. Now, from the age of Pisces, we're now moving out of that and moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, we're already in the age of Aquarius now. We've been in it, some say, and I don't know the exact dates, we can only put a guesstimate on it, for the last 50 years. We've been in the, that was the sort of the, that's how long we've been making this transition for. We have official dates, one of them being, interestingly enough, November the 11th, 2011, which is 11/11/11. Twin flames. Some people had set this day at December the 21st, 2012. That's the one I personally resonate with, simply because when I was going through my awakening process about 3 years ago, I kept seeing 12s and 21s everywhere. It was, and it was a connection back to that date for me to be able to understand that we are now into this age of Aquarius. So I was getting angel messages through, sort of trying to point me in that direction, when I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. So they tried to point me in that direction and guide me through, so I got, oh, okay, we're going into a different age. That's it. So for the next 2,000 years, we are going to be in the age of Aquarius. And this is important. A lot of people don't think it's important, certainly not you that watch my channel or are spiritual, who are, you know, aware of astrological signs and what's going on in the heavens. To us it is important, but there's a lot of people out there, they don't care what star sign they are, they don't care what's going on in the heavens, they don't care what's going on in astrology, they don't care if they're a Pisces, a Gemini, a Libra. It doesn't make any difference to them. They don't care what their moon sign is or their rising sign is. They don't believe in that sort of stuff. They're very atheist, which is nothing wrong with that. Let me say that as well, because we all have our own path to go down as well, so it's not being judgmental. It's just some people don't put it as being important, but it is. Because we're going into the Aquarian age, it is important in order for us to understand, to keep up with what's going on and the changes that we need to make within our lives. It's changing the astrological conditions of the earth for the entire planet, and every single person, whether they believe in astrological signs or anything else, will be affected by it in one way or another. So we need to look at what is going to be changing for the next 2,000 years and the type of things we're going into. When we were in the Piscean Age, in the Age of Pisces, this was dominated by hierarchy. It was dominated by power, by government. The key phrase from this age, which is taken from Shakespeare's Hamlet, was to be or not to be. That is the question. That was us in the last 2,000 years, to be or not to be. To have a successful, happy life in the age of Pisces, you needed to work out to be or not to be. You needed to work out that question, and the key to that was power and government and relying on somebody else within it. Now that we've moved into Aquarius, we're into this different time. In Pisces, it was all about, I believe. In order for you to be something, you needed to, as I said, find something or somebody to believe in, whether it was hierarchy, well, all of it's hierarchy and power. So believing in a certain religious following, believing in a government, believing in somebody else, believing in putting your belief into something outside of yourself. That was the last 2,000 years. That's what was going on. We have to believe in somebody else, as long as they're higher than us, as long as they are in power and they are setting rules and they are making decisions, we will go along with them, regardless of whether we actually know what they're doing or not, or understand quite what they're doing. We just had to follow somebody. And what happened then, you find yourself being guided on how to live because you've attached to something, because you've attached to the belief. So, as I said, a religion, a political ideology, a leader at work, a boss, something. The keys to life were hidden in the secret halls of power in this way, in the monasteries, in the ashrams as well. And you didn't know, you never needed to know the secrets of their power. You just needed to blindly follow them and do what they said. Just do what they said. This created a vertical hierarchy, so going up, a little bit like the pyramid schemes. There's going up to the top, there was a hierarchy at the top of the tree, and the further you got up the tree, that was the one that you were aspiring to, that you were following, and that went up in a vertical way. So you had to find your own pecking order. You had to find where on this scale, this vertical scale, you are or were in the last 2,000 years. And that's been the foundation for human consciousness for 2,000 years, such a long time. So everything that you have learned from your parents, everything your parents learned from their parents, everything their parents learned from their parents, going back 2,000 years, has been coloured by this Pisces age that we were in, by this frame of reference, by this having to believe in something outside of ourselves and follow something else. And that's been it. And all of that is now changing as we move forward, and we are now in the age of Aquarius. So the Aquarius is dominated, or will be dominated, by networks and information, learning new things, finding information. The key phrase for this age is B2B. The key to the astrological sign of Aquarius is I know, I have a knowing of things, and I can attain to this because I have an Aquarian daughter who just knows everything. whether it's true or not, she just knows everything. She won't listen to anybody else, bless her. But this is Aquarius for you. This is, with this age of information, there is nothing secret anymore. Everything will start coming up to light. Everything we are going to shine a light on and bring the truth out. Okay? All information is available at our fingertips. We've got the internet, we've got telephones, we've got everything that we need. We can just find out the answer to it, obviously with discernment, but this is the way forward for us. And where the Piscean age was like vertically going up to the leader at the top, whoever that is, whoever you followed, this is it's organised into a horizontal network of things going across, so it opens up our world to true equality as we move along. We're not going up now, we're moving out, we're spreading out, we're getting out of the box that we're actually in as we change to it. So during this age, the focus is no longer on your identity and your existence, to be or not to be. That is the question. It's not on that. It's shifted now. Our perceptions have shifted. It's on accepting yourself as a whole person. It's about learning to come back to self and be whole. Go within. B2B. Knowing, have the knowing of an Aquarian that you do not need to believe in something that is outside of yourself. You do not believe. You are sovereign. You are becoming a sovereign being. You are becoming somebody who does not need to follow a particular leader, when you know that you have all the tools within you to follow yourself, because you are whole. And that's what we're now learning. You're ready to accept that you have all of that knowledge within yourself. You have already the wisdom. You can tap into the wisdom, the answers, the Akashic records. Everything that you need is within, and you can bring it within you. And it's no longer necessarily to attach to something outside of yourself. You become your own leader in the Aquarian age. You become the master of yourself in the Aquarian age. Instead of being what's it called? A railroad car, let's say a railroad car, because I can't think of the word for the trailer. Instead of being a trailer, instead of being the trailer that is pulled along by the car, you become the car. Yeah, you become the car. You're not the trailer anymore. You're not being dragged along by it, by the car. It's your responsibility to stay in line yourself. It's your responsibility to be the driver and be in control of your own destiny, and to keep moving forward with that. And with this understanding, it is so much easier to comprehend what's going on and understand what's going on in the world over the last 50 years. There's so much stuff going on, and we are seeing things brought to light that we never saw before. We are seeing the real truth of things. We're seeing the truth in religion, in governments, and it's not pretty. It's not nice. We are hearing about things that we don't want to hear about, but they have to come to life. They have to be shown so they can be brought in, so they can be transmuted, so they can be changed. We are the change. We are bringing about this change as we go through this age. So probably since about the 1960s, there's been a huge movement towards personal transformation within ourselves, having self-awareness, self-improvement, yoga, meditation, connecting with our guides and angels, knowing there is another source that we can connect to, which is a part of us. We're not looking outside ourselves. Our higher self is a part of us. Our guides, our angels are part of our support group. So it's about moving on from what was to what is and what is to be there. So we've got this self-awareness, we've got this self-improvement. We're all looking at alternative methods. We're not putting all of our faith in hospitals and medicine and big pharma anymore as well. That's another thing. We're looking at alternative healing. We're looking at natural food, looking after ourselves, self-healing, self-examination, self-awareness. There's been this major increase as well, unfortunately, in depression and suicide, anxiety, stress, drug use. All of those things have come about. Pharmaceutical, recreational drugs, all of that has come up as well, because it's still, people have been trying to find an outside answer to what's within them as well. And you can see the good and you can see the bad side. Those of us that are awake and going with the shift and going it, we're on the good side. We're into meditation, we're doing the yoga, we're doing the self-work. For those of them that don't understand, or it is simply their contract and their path to follow, because remember, everybody has their own path to follow, and maybe some, you know, are not meant to go too far into the Aquarius age. Maybe they, you know, some people may not be able to break away from the Piscean age. They will be very confused, scared, not know what's going on, not understand the changes that are taking place, and they will, it's depression, suicide, anxiety, stress, drug taking, alcoholism, all of those, dependency, depending on something else to make them feel better, without realising that to feel better they just need to go within and look at themselves and work on themselves. So there is this big shift. This is where we say there is this split that goes on as the world is changing, as our planet is changing. So in the outer world of things, we've seen some amazing, amazing changes within civil rights, environmental consciousness, women's rights, gay rights, lesbian rights, global consciousness. We've seen all of that, and we can see all of that rising as we break through and we break the boundaries and we come out of the box and we become awakening, amazing new technologies, more awareness not only of ourselves but people, you know, having compassion for people around us. But at the same time, unfortunately, as seeing all that, we also see the rise of the darker side breaking up as we see the truth, as the light is shined on it and it comes up. So we've seen a rise of fundamentalism, is that the right, yeah, terrorism, racism, xenophobia, fear of other people, and fear-mongering as well, and fake news and this and that and the other. We're seeing the rise of both. To go into this Aquarian age is to focus on the rise of the positive and not the negative that's coming up. They're both going to come up at the same time. They're both coming up at the same time. They're both getting, which one's going to be the stronger? It's going to be the Aquarian side of things. It's going to be the looking within yourself, the meditation, the positiveness, the self-empowerment. It's all of those things that will win out in the end, but the other stuff has to come up in order to bring it down, in order to bring it to light, transmute it, get rid of it. So this shift is really bringing out the worst and the best in mankind. Now, some of us that are awake, like myself and a lot of you, most of you, probably all of you that are on my channel that are subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Twin flames, light workers, star seeds, indigos, all of us that are aware of this, we are preparing for the shift, doing everything that we can We are opening our hearts, we are opening our minds, we're opening all of our chakras, we are working through our crap, we are doing what we need to do, and we are embracing. We're not scared of this new age that's coming round, we're embracing it. We want it to come on because we know that it's going to bring peace and harmony to our earth. It's a new beginning for our earth to go through, and it's a new beginning for humans that are here. But some people are going to be intimidated by it and scared. They don't like change, they don't want to change. Why can't things be like they used to be? What's happening to our leaders in our world? Why can we not follow them anymore? Why are they lying? Why are they? All of this is going to come up for them. They'll want to go back in the past and go back to an easier time where they didn't have to face the truth. The truth was hidden, the secrets were there and they couldn't see them. They were oblivious, we all were to them, and that was easier for them. So transformation it's never completely painless to go through a transformation. I've been through Night of the Dark Soul, I've been through the Awakening, and oh my goodness, it can be scary and confusing and painful as I go through as I've been through the twin flame process, which is a part of this process as well for a lot of us. We all come onto this on a slightly different path, but it's all about coming back to oneness. It's all about coming back to ourselves in the end, and knowing that the more we are at one with ourselves, the more balanced we are, the more we can help others around us, and the more we can help make it easier for others to go through this shift as well. So transformation isn't always painless. There is some work involved there, which we are quite prepared to do. Every time you fast or you cleanse to purify your body, you feel crap, you feel horrible, you feel worse, so much worse, and you're sitting there thinking, well, is it supposed to be helping? Is this supposed to? But it's because the toxins in your body are getting stirred up. It's because the toxins are there to come up in order to be eliminated, in order to be transmuted, for you to feel lighter, to feel more energized, to feel wonderful, to feel clear. And it's the same when we're working through things. If we're working through past issues, this is why we work through past life issues, because it doesn't matter, they're not important to us anymore. We have to get them cleared in order to move along with the Aquarian Age, getting rid of past stresses, guilt, anger, all the lower chakras. If you think of the chakras on a scale, we are moving up this scale. We're moving into the higher vibrations of things. So this is why we continually do this clearing and healing and everything else, as we help Mother Gaia to raise as well up into 5D, into the Aquarian Age. So yeah, toxins get stirred up and get eliminated, and then you feel more energized and that. So if you can imagine now that every person on planet Earth is going through this shift as well, and we're heading into this time of total radical change that is happening on the earth, which we will see in our lifetimes. There is such a potential for growth and expansion, but at the same time there is such a potential for suffering and pain as well. And the more you understand what is happening, the more you can go through the changes without losing your balance, without losing a sense of who you are, without losing your stability in this world. Okay, so things that you can do to help yourself is have some sort of spiritual daily practice, whether it be yoga, whether it be meditation, whether it be consulting your own tarot cards, channeling angels, bringing out the tools that you have within yourself, being the magician in the tarot deck, knowing that you have all the tools inside you to fix and heal yourself, having alternative medicine, taking vitamins, drinking healthily, eating healthily, moving slowly through this transition will all help you to become more stable and more centralized and more within yourself. The more you go and eat McDonald's, the more you take drugs, the more you smoke, the more you do things, the more you will find that you will attract to you the more negative side of things, the rise of other stuff that's going on. It's time to move into the positive with things as much as you can do. Never ever give in to fear, despair or anger. When you watch things on the TV, this is why we say do not watch it. It's programming. You are the darker side of things are feeding off your fear. They are feeding off your grief. They are feeding off your anger, and it produces, and as they feed off it, it just produces more of it. So this is why we're moving away from things like that as well now. When you watch the TV, anything can just trigger you. It can trigger your emotions. It can take you back to a past experience. It can take you to where, you know, somebody died in your life, or you had a traumatic experience, and you bring all those feelings up again. The media is very good at putting fear and fear-mongering you into it, and for placing in false flags and that. The environment, politics, terrorism, these emotions are all symptoms of this shift that we're going through. Okay, and if you can understand that, then you can go through without losing your centre. Remember never to be a victim in anything. I've been a victim plenty of times in my life, and I played that part very, very well as well. I have no shame now in admitting it, because we have all been through that at one point or another, when we were asleep, when we didn't know what was going on, when we didn't have or didn't realise that we had guides and angels to help us through and support us. Getting into yourself and just being a victim. It's all somebody else's fault, and they've done this to me, and it's horrible, and why am I being treated like this, and oh my goodness, the world's out to get me. You've got the power to change your life. It's within you. You can do it. You can't blame others for what's being done, because it's your responsibility, because you have given your power away to somebody else. That's why they're treating you like that. That's why the situations are happening in your own personal life, because you've given somebody else the power to do that. So don't give your power away to anybody else. Don't blame. Don't give out resentment. You solely are responsible for your happiness, your grace, your peacefulness inside you. Don't buy into the view of reality in which you are not 100% responsible for making your own life work. The Aquarian Age is all about empowerment and consciousness, not giving your empowerment away to somebody else, not giving your power away to somebody else by blindly following somebody else. That is what the Aquarian Age is all now about, and this is what we're learning as we go through things. So I hope that helps. I hope it's just, maybe I needed to remind myself of this, so you know, because sometimes you will watch things on YouTube or you will learn these things, and then it sort of drifts out of your mind, and sometimes I personally need to be brought back to my centre, and this information has done that and has reminded me why we're seeing what we're seeing in the world today, and why things are changing so quickly, and how important it is to stay positive. So I thought, well, maybe there's a few of us out there that need to be reminded as well, in a loving way, as to what's happening. So stay on the positive side of things as much as you can, and the more you do that, the more you will become, you will come into vibrational alignment with who you really are at your core, at your soul level, and you will realise how powerful a being you really are, and the changes and the help that you can do in the world to help bring the world and rise up with the world. So namaste, blessings and light, and I'll speak to you soon. Alright, bye.